You were totally crying.
I wasn't crying.
Yes,
It was a giant thing in... Okay, I was crying. Hey everybody, we just got back from the movie theater and we have a movie that we just have to review right now. Jenny, what did we just go see?
Okay, we just saw the movie called Pray, the story of Father Patrick Peyton.
This is a documentary style movie. It released last weekend and we finally just got a chance to see it.
So first, we're not going to give away any spoilers, but we do want to tell you what it's about. So if you're anything like me, I walked into this plan, like he surprised me with a brief date night. And so I hadn't heard of this movie. Shame on me. So hopefully if you haven't heard of it, we can let you know. But it is so good. It's about a priest from Ireland, a humble man who has a life event happen that inspires him to rely on Our Lady's intercession. And he wants to spread the story of the Rosary and encourage prayer. Take it away.
And I mean, he's, like Jenny said, he's this normal, humble man. He ends up in America and he just feels this tug, this urge to bring people to Our Lady because she was there for him in his time of need. No spoilers. So what ensues from that simple that fiat of Father Patrick is to just, he didn't back down. He didn't take no for an answer. He was not equipped for any of this. He was not a professional like entrepreneur or media marketing person, but at some point someone was like, you should do the radio. Like it's this new thing, like in the, I guess it wasn't brand new in the 50s, but it was like really becoming mainstream.
Maybe for evangelization it was new.
Yeah, and so he's like, all right, I gotta go. They said I gotta go to Chicago. I'm going to Chicago. He gets on the radio and then he gets his own radio station and then he's doing these Rosary rallies that are
huge.
Hundreds of thousands of people in this city, millions of people in this city. And this stuff should be in our history books. This is, whether you're a religious person or not, this is just monumental that during times of hard times, back in the day, we think, man, we're facing some hard times right now. But I think what was really so profound to me is that this isn't the first time the world's been in hard times, and this isn't the first time that the world, a broken world, has turned to prayer, and that the example that he set and the wake of what his actions brought about.
He was unafraid to preach the gospel. He was ready for whatever God asked of him, and he just treated his life like a mission. It's like he never slowed down unless he got sick, and then other than that, he was on the move, and I find that really inspiring. It really reminds me of my boss, who's an older priest, and just hasn't slowed down yet, and he knows,
modern day,
I've only got so much time left on earth, and we should all live our life that way, that we don't know what we have tomorrow, what's before us. God's in control, and we might have
work to do.
Yeah, we still have a lot of work to do, and if we only have a day left, what would you do before that day ended? We have to think like that. So Father Patrick Peyton, incredible life story, so motivating. The whole film, we were just like clutching hands, emotional.
Fortunately, there wasn't anyone immediately around us, so it's these really nice theater with nice chairs, so you can kind of sink into them,
hide in them, and then
cry in your own bubble, so that no one.
We both were getting pretty emotional.
Didn't expect that whatsoever. I think there were a lot of parallels because with Catholify during COVID, we felt this tug to turn to Our Lady, and it's baffling to me that we hadn't heard of Father Patrick Peyton, for him to have had such a historical impact, and especially in prayer.
And about him, or maybe we live in Alabama, so maybe it's more Mother Angelica focused. But why haven't we heard of him before now?
She was another one of these firecrackers that jumped into the media, and I feel like the ministry of Catholify very much shares that charism, and it just felt like, wow, of course we're not the only ones doing this, but not even modern day. We put together the Live Rosary Network, and we brought this mission to pray 1 million rosaries by Mary's birthday on September 8th, and we worked with Choose Life, this amazing organization. And
so from May to September, we had live leaders, using technology to pray and let others tune in and pray with them, and of course the whole idea seemed crazy, and then God provided. And we reached our 1 million. Like, thanks be to God, we did it.
Yeah.
Which I still can't process.
I feel like Father Patrick had his hand in it. You know, now that I know how much deeper, and Our Lady, you know, I mean, now that I know how much deeper this went, seeing this documentary, I mean, this push to do massive spread of prayer, and particularly the Rosary. And his whole thing was family Rosary. You know, I hadn't heard of Father Patrick Peyton somehow, but you might have heard his phrase. People still say it today. It's the family that prays together stays together. That was his thing. His whole platform was built on top of that. This domestic church, this church that we have right at home with our own families. I got all emotional when he was talking about like the role of husbands and fathers leading their family and their little ones, modeling what it means to be a spiritual leader.
That's what fostered his prayer life. I mean, him growing up in a family that prayed a daily rosary brought him into the priesthood and allowed him to be able to say yes to God when that invitation came. It was really powerful to see people that knew him, people that worked for him, his family members. They were interviewed in a documentary style during this to answer what he was like and how he impacted them, and how he kind of casted a stone, like that quote from Mother Teresa, he casted a stone and then made many ripples. Yeah. And which those ripples are still impacting people today. I'm sure he created families, or he inspired families to pray a rosary together, and I'm sure those children of those families are now grown and praying rosary still today. And that's the whole point. We want to love Jesus, serve Jesus, and what better way to know him than to ask his mother, who knew and loved him more than any of us. Yeah.
Family Theater Productions put this together, and they're doing amazing things through film. But I'm pretty sure this is what Father Patrick started. He started reaching out to celebrities of the time, Bing Crosby and
Lucille Ball,
and these folks that are like advocating, saying you need to pray the rosary with your family, and it's just
I mean, he had phenomenal. Actors, musicians coming on his radio show and promoting family prayer. Like, how amazing if we saw that happen today, but typically we don't see that.
He made the rosary trend. It was trending thanks to Father Patrick. And now the Family Theater Productions is, we just found before this video, they got Mark Wahlberg to say, the family that prays together stays together, and he's with his wife. And like, they're doing it. I mean, they're you know, just like Father Patrick would have wanted it to keep going. You know, towards the end of the documentary, he said, I want to leave it in good hands because my time is almost up, you know, and that he wants it to keep going. And so that's the call that they're doing. And at the end of the movie, it's saying,
it gives you like a challenge.
Yeah, it's a call to action. It wasn't just, so that's Father Peyton, we hope you enjoyed. It was saying, now it's up to you. Now it's up to me to pray. I mean, it was almost like the whole objective of this movie was to make it amazing, production value through the roof, raise all the money you need, put it in theaters so that you could get people to pray. I mean, that is really its whole point.
Because we know if we pray, if we humble ourselves, sit down, remove our pride, and pray and get vulnerable, God does something. He speaks to us and challenges us to grow and change. And so prayer changes everything. It changes us and then allows us to go out and evangelize the world and be bold and brave and encounter Christ, and then help others encounter him too. So, I mean, prayer is like a domino effect. And so I think the movie really did a great job of showing you how important it is to pray, reminding you that you are loved by God who created you, sent his son to die for you, and now has given you a mission. We each have an individual mission. But how neat to remind us that our family should pray together. Because I didn't grow up in a family that prays, and you didn't grow up
either.
So
not where it was that comfortable. We weren't praying rosaries all the time, and we went to Mass on Sunday. And
we blessed the food. We always said the food blessing, and we went to Mass too. But if I had said, you know, I'm having a rough week, can we pray? That would have never, I wouldn't have ever even thought to ask that. So I think how neat that, you know, start with a prayer that just pray the rosary and reflect on Jesus' life. That's what the rosary is. And each day has the mysteries, and you follow. And if you don't know how to pray the rosary, you can pray it in our app. It's got all the prayers in there, so you can follow along. And
this YouTube channel has countless of the live leaders that we saved and reposted here.
Yeah, you could go back and rewatch a rosary and pray with somebody.
And then, of course, the virtual living rosary was a project we did where we had over 70 leaders all saying a different bead of the Rosary. So this person said Hail Mary, that person said the next one, and it's really beautiful to see it all.
And families,
different
and that was
languages,
really special.
and
yeah.
so we've
link that.
Had all of these Rosary projects through our ministry, and then to just feel it united to something much bigger I felt like it was speaking to us in a really special way. So we were really moved by it.
No matter what age you are, no matter what religion, just give it a chance. It's not very long. You could take your kids to see it.
It's just barely over an hour.
Yeah. I mean, it was over in a flash. And then we just sat in our chairs and kind of processed. Like in the movie theater, we were just like, wow, I just felt energized and motivated, and in a time when people are so negative and depression and all these things are happening because of just the world is tough right now. And this movie will bring you hope, and it'll inspire you to pray, which will then give you peace and show you God the Father. And so it's just, we can't recommend it enough.
Maybe there's just something about seeing millions of people from a helicopter view in a time where we can't be together right now, to just see like, wow, look at these people against all odds, whatever they were facing in their era.
Because they had photos and footage to show in the film of these, 50, 60 years ago. Yeah. And if I saw that today, I think one of the shots was 2 million. 2 million people holding rosaries.
Just blocks and blocks.
Yeah, all ages.
Pans,
That was just, I had chills. I just thought, we need that more than ever. Of course, we can't do it because of COVID, but we can unite right here.
Here.
Yes, and we truly can. And we've seen it happen, and I'm sure it'll happen again. But can't recommend it enough. We're so thankful that somebody out there had this idea, and that people said yes, and that this is now a reality. You can watch this film, learn about Father's life, and then go home and love your family. Yeah. Mother Teresa, if you want to change the world, go home and love your family.
That's where it starts.
Yeah.
His impact is just continuing to ripple, and so definitely check it out. It's praythefilm.com. We'll link it below, but if you've already seen it, let us know.
Oh yeah, comment. Let us know what you thought.
It'll show you all the theaters that it's still in, and we were just, like Jenny said, we were fortunate enough that it was right down the street from us. So even if you have to drive a little bit to go see
it's worth it. It really is.
It makes a statement to Hollywood. It says, we care enough about this, despite quarantine, we need more films like this. So go make a statement by saying yes to supporting this film, and then go pray as it tells you at the end. So we hope you enjoyed this review of Pray, the story of Patrick Peyton and his legacy that he left behind. So
thanks for watching.
Bye.